The fly that we're tying is called Ketch's Big Grinch. I'm using a 1750 Daiichi size 6 hook for the rear with red 210 denier thread. The first piece of material you're going to tie in is going to be olive marabou. It's going to be just a little bit longer than the length of the shank of the hook. You're going to secure that with 4 or 5 wraps, tie back to the back, and then you're going to add another plume as well. Make sure that when you add it on there that you're making it the same length. Then you're going to tie that all the way forward. Probably with about an eighth of an inch away from the hook eye. Make sure it's secured in well, tie all the way back. Then you're going to take a red flashabou, 4 pieces on each side, and tie it in. Making sure that they're about the length of to the end of the marabou that you tied in. Then you take red brassy wire, tie that in securely. Then you're going to get a piece of medium New Age chenille from Cascade Crest. The color that I'm using is Red's Olive. You're going to wrap that forward. Secure it pretty close to the eye. Cut off the excess. Then you're going to tie in a grizzly schlappen feather. You're going to wrap that back, making sure that the concave side is facing down. Secure that with the red brassy wire and weave it through the schlappen. Secure that well in the front. Get rid of the excess. Cut off the excess grizzly schlappen that you tied in. And then take a brush, a dubbing brush, comb all of it out. Then you're going to use some barred and speckled crazy legs, red and black. You're going to tie a set on each side. Whip finish it, add a little head cement. You want to make sure and trim the legs to the length of the marabou. Then you're going to take a 30-pound fluorocarbon, run it through the eye, and use 1 red glass bead. And then for the front hook, what I'm using is a 1750 Daiichi size 4. When you attach it, you want to make sure that the loop on the back that's connecting is straight up and down along with for the front hook. And you want to make sure that the loop itself is as wide as the 1 glass bead. You don't want it longer or shorter. You're going to take the fluorocarbon and wrap it all the way up the hook. When you get to close to the eye, you're going to wrap your thread over the top of the fluorocarbon and wrap it all the way back. Then you're going to tie in another another olive marabou, and you want to make sure the length is about halfway down the shank of the rear hook. Then you're going to put another one over the top. And you're going to tie that one about 3/4 of the way down. And you're going to flip over the hook and put some red medium dumbbell eyes on the bottom of the hook shank. Make sure that they're straight. Once you get those secured, you're going to make sure and put Zap-A-Glap or super glue on the bottom and on the top. Then you're just going to wrap all the way back. Then you're going to take your red Flashabou, 4 pieces on each side. Make sure that you measure out the Flashabou to the length of the marabou that you just tied in. Should be even on both sides. Then you're going to take some more red brassy, red wire, secure that in. Tie in another piece of Red's Olive medium chenille. Then just wrap that forward. Then you're going to grab another grizzly schlappen feather, tie that in, palmer it back, secure that with the wire, tie off your wire. Get rid of the excess. Make sure you use your brush on this as well. Then you're going to grab a olive marabou feather, tie that in, palmer it forward all the way to the eye, making sure to pull out all the fibers of the marabou. Grab the marabou, pull it back. Make sure and cut off the excess. Then you're going to add another set of rubber legs on each side. Then you're going to take some red ice dub, and wrap that all the way forward to the eye. Then you're going to stack some olive deer hair. When you tie this in, you do not want to spin it. You want it to sit in one spot. You want to make sure that when you tie it in, that those butts of the deer hair are still long enough, because you're going to trim those. Then you're going to wrap in front of it. You're going to grab some red deer hair. You're going to tie that in, and this is where you want it to spin. Then you're going to tie it off in the eye. Then you're going to take a double-sided razor blade, and you're going to make a pretty close cut. Make sure that you have both eyes showing on both sides. You want to also trim the bottom pretty flat. Add a little head cement, and that's the Big Grinch.